So this is a buy the dip market, and now things have got very interesting because over the last 2 days we have seen prices cooling off in the market, and certain areas of the markets have come down sharply. Now we won't be retesting the lows that we put in a couple of months back. This is because the whole dynamic of the market is completely different to where we started off this year to how we are exiting the year. We started off this year with tons of inflation fears and worries, and inflation was skyrocketing. We're going to be exiting the year with inflation cooling off. So the whole dynamic and the situation has been reversed. We will not be retesting those lows. That is why it is a buy the dip market. So I want to show you guys a couple of stocks of interest. All right, check it out. So I'm going to talk to you guys about two stocks, both very, very different, but both do have good qualities and good attributes that I want to briefly touch on. So the first one is Qualcomm, and this is a fundamental investor's dream because we have an undervalued stock, heavily undervalued, and the growth trajectory, what they're doing, things they're putting in place now is going to yield great results. It's just a matter of time. Okay, so in terms of the price action looks interesting here because we had a break of structure. Okay, this was a significant break of structure to the upside that we had back in July. So now this is in a very interesting trading range, which is above the low trading range that it was trading in a few months back. Okay, now this thing is coming in to a strong area of support, which is around this level. Okay, if this breaks, there could be further downside, but this just means that this is an even cheaper stock on paper. This is the type of stock you cannot go wrong with. So as I say, this is a fundamental investor's dream, and this is one I want to talk to you guys about. But if we just flip the script, okay, and talk about one of the more momentum or classic momentum stocks, the one that is of most interest to me right now out of all the momentum stocks or classic momentum stocks, right, is Draftkings. Draftkings is an interesting stock. One of the reasons for that, right, is they have had 3 consecutive earnings beats. Okay, you guys can see it down there. 3 consecutive earnings beats. There's very, very few stocks in the same type of category that Draftkings is in, right? This type of innovative, classic momentum stock, right, that has beaten earnings 3 times consecutively, and on top of that has gone ahead and raised guidance. So the business is actually doing pretty well. And I always tell the guys over the Discord, I remember when the CEO came out and said, I think the stock was trading around like in the low teens at that time. He came out and said, look, he's gonna basically make it, he's basically saying that those who are selling the DraftKings stock were making a massive mistake, and he would make sure of it. Okay, and that has always stuck with me since he ever said that. But the stock is actually showing some interesting business momentum, right? Some fundamental momentum here. So this is a name that still remains on my radar. If I'm looking at the price action, okay, there's a few things of interest. I'm just going to use the fib here. I'm going to put on the fib just for some guidance, okay, some guidance, because this is a stock that respects the fib. Now, we've come into contact with this 0.618 retracement level on the fib today. That is interesting. Obviously, at this level, we had this area of resistance, we had this level of support. So this is an interesting level, and I do believe that this right here does act as a buy zone for this stock. However, what you need to do is appreciate, right? You need to appreciate this level right here, down here. This 0.382 retracement. Why do I say that? Because this is a significant level with tons of price action historically. So if this was to trend down to this level, that would be a very, very interesting point to accumulate and to add stock. And I would most certainly be looking to add and get involved at that level if we saw that. Now that's a 15% decline from where we're currently at. So that's quite a steep drop from these current levels, but I think the price point where it's at right now looks interesting. Plus you also have this gap fill right here. Okay, so this gap fill is pretty much filled today, and it's also at that 0.618 fib retracement level. So the technicals look interesting and the fundamentals also look pretty interesting. Obviously this is the type of stock where you want to manage how much you're actually putting to work here, because it's more in the type of like growth stage, earlier growth stage, okay, because they don't make profits. So obviously you're not going to buy as much Draftkings as you would buy a stock like a Qualcomm or something that's more established, that has strong cash flow and consistent profitability. But before I sign out, let me show you guys one thing, because this is, right, I believe that this is the most the most powerful and the most interesting level in the entire stock market that will govern where stocks go in the short term. So up on screen I've got Apple. Now why am I talking about Apple? Because Apple has been the biggest success story of this recent stock market rally, right? This stock is up from its low, this stock is up 35%, right? Bear in mind, this is like a $2 trillion stock, up 35%. That is huge amounts of money, huge amounts of interest, huge amounts of capital that has gone in this direction. Let me show you guys this. If I put the fib on here, right, Fibonacci retracement, you can see this level right here. You guys can see that, right? Put it on full screen if you can't see. The 0.786 level is extremely, extremely important in terms of governing stock market price action in the short term. Okay, this is a level that has seen a lot of activity right throughout the year. Support here, support here, support here, resistance here. Okay, consolidation, collection zone here, a little bit of resistance here. We've come into contact to that level today. So if that holds up, okay, that is a positive sign for stocks in the short term. But hey, if this breaks down, breaks below, then guess what? Probably on track to fill this gap right here, okay? To fill that gap right there. And that is a pretty significant drop, and that's going to cause a drag effect on the rest of the market. So this zone right here that I've spoken about, this zone right here is the most interesting and most powerful zone in the entire stock market right now. All right, guys, catch you in the next one.